Welcome back to Hebrew Ivri Ewe, Ewe the Black Man. I am Saram Ajanku. When we talk about ancient pictographs being a system of expression in ancient times, were the ancient scribes only writing or drawing on tablets, walls, and scrolls? How did our ancestors express themselves? We can find pictographic expressions in forms that are considered art today, but in ancient times, these items didn't merely serve as objects to look upon, but were practical tools for ceremonious occasions as well as everyday use. The images before you are ancient Hebrew pictographs, also known as Paleo-Hebrew or ancient Hebrew hieroglyphics. Did you ever wonder what happened to pictographs in the context of our African Hebraic culture? If we are the descendants of Yasara, shouldn't we still have the pictographs in our culture? Or at least have them in a modernized form? We certainly do. The Eves preserve much of these things through the skills of the master weavers, potters, and other artisans. Here are some modernized Ewe pictographs. I say modernized because some of the characters have undergone modernization, and there are characters here that were clearly introduced by colonization. An example is the grenade, which is labeled as bombu. There is no other word for bomb or grenade. It is also evident that based on the artist's rendition, some of the pictographic characters are personified in the forms of animals. But a closer look at this Ewe pictographic chart reveals characters that have been retained from the ancient Hebrew pictograph chart, which I showed earlier. On the second row, second column from the right, there is a mem, which has been personified as the serpent. The ancient Hebrew mem represents a body of water, such as a river, which is mu or amu in Ewe. Rivers are often described as meandering like serpents. Next to this character is the tichoga or atichoga, which is the ancient Hebrew tav or tau, and it maintains the shape of a cross still. On the next row down, first column from the left, is a depiction of a sun rising and setting. This depicts the life cycle which eventually ends in death, the sun setting. This corresponds to the ancient Hebrew pictograph Kof or Kuf, which is simply a depiction of the same. The vertical oval character on the last row, third column from the left, is the character Pe or Fe. On this second chart, we can immediately see the hand, which corresponds to the Ya, also known as Yud, on the first column. I want to show you some of these pictographic characters in West African woven fabrics and pottery. This cloth is an Ewe Kente cloth, properly called Ewedo, meaning Ewe cloth. It was woven by an Ewe master weaver. Right away, we see the Ya or Yod. It can pass for a Ka as well. And here we see a Hey. We can see some African Hebrew pictographs in this red cloth as well. The Ya or Yod and the Mem, Amu or Mu, are to the bottom left, a form of hay at the bottom center with the staff, Lamed, and Be is scattered pretty much everywhere. And lastly, here is a fringed blue and white Ewedo with the river, Mu or Mem, depicted. Take a look at this pot. What do you see? I see a hand, which represents the Ya or Yud, or the Ka. I also see a hoe and a machete. Last but not least, I see some bumps in sets of 3. What could the owner be saying here? I'll leave that to your interpretation. This beautiful woven raffia mat is the chef-d'oeuvre of the Bakuba people of Congo. I hope you can effortlessly see the Be ancient Hebrew pictograph here. Bogolan, also known as mudcloth, is a West African cloth which is said to have been created by the Bamana people of Mali. The design patterns which stand out the most to me are the hay, personified as a crocodile, and the river Mu or Mem. We see these same designs on pottery by the same people. A pot with the hay, and here the hay is a crocodile and the Mem is a serpent. We see the same here as well. Interestingly, we see the same ancient Hebrew pictograph characters on this pot belonging to the Batonu people of the Republic of Benin, formerly known as Dahomey. This is a Nupe water pot from Nigeria, exhibiting long horizontal mems. This one is by the Azande people of the Democratic Republic of Congo. It has a Be pictograph on it. The pictographs are all around us. Next time you pick up an African art piece, pay attention to the details. Our Ebe ancestors' fingerprints are in the details. That's all for today. Thank you for liking and sharing. Yayira Nami. Blessings to you.